Привет из Дубая. С вами передача «Голубь мира», где разбираем крутые навыки, спрашиваем на английском, отвечаем на русском. Подтягивайте язык или смотрите перевод в тайм-кодах. Let's talk about ВКонтакте, and let's start with the definition.
ВКонтакте, this is maybe the most famous Russian social network, and the second one maybe Одноклассники. I don't know how to say it in English. Maybe it's like classmates.
Classmates.
Like classmates. And you know what's funny? I was never thinking that I would look into this network, but suddenly there were several requests from Mexico and then from Brazil, and I found that there is a lot of interest in this social network. Let's start with Mexico. It was a request from Department of Justice, and they were asking me in unofficial way, is there any person could help us to check some private chats and so on. And I was asking, come on, guys, you could talk with me directly. And they were telling, you was вас посоветовали, you was advised.
We're advised.
You were advised by such a person, and we know that some chat is about narco traffics. It going by this network, and I was astonished. Why Mexican cartels they using Russian-based social network, but they were answering that this couldn't be achieved or retrieved by U.S. governments and U.S. official. That's the reason. Okay, and we were making some projects, and during this project we were forced to go deeper into the engine of this network, and this was first case. Second case, it was from Brazil, and you know why? Because some Brazilian people and Argentinian ones, they were trading with Russian, Arab people and Japanese with some masterpieces which was stolen from galleries and from museum. Suddenly I was discovering another world. Like I was like Alice in Wonderland. It's okay to say Alice, Alisa?
Alice.
Alice in Wonderland. So I was never thinking that social networks could be used for drug traffic or for smuggling.
And those are kind of interesting cases. We probably will come back to maybe like this segment of the social network, but when we look into the network itself, like why it become that, like something which is similar to Facebook and something that, like appeared right after like a Facebook or like even the classmates or like any other social networks, it gained the popularity. What might be like a social, culturological, or like maybe even like a geographical aspects of this network being widely used?
Maxim, to be honest, there is just one reason. If you think about Google Photos, Azure Cloud, and some others and social networks, there is only one reason why it would be so popular, because it has support and money funding, fundraising from government, Facebook and OneDrive and iCloud and ВКонтакте and Telegram and other stuff. It was paid by special forces, by special agencies. You have two options. First, you could have 1 million of spies, which would be on your payroll, on your payroll. And you have another stuff. You will pay 10 times cheaper or 10 times smaller, and you will get access to all photos, to all chats, and to all pages. So if you have connections with military officials or state officials, in this case, you would be popular. There is a lot of different cases from Australia, from America, from Russia, when people were captured by social network, by messenger, and so on. It was a time like 2012. I was trying with two guys to create also social network. It was first name, it was JIT, just in time. Then we named it in Click Out, and we sold it out. And the reason why we sold it out, because we achieve our goal 700 users, 700,000 users, and our curve is going to be flat. So we have lack of resources to attract new customers. And we were talking with a lot of different guys. I was talking to Zuckerberg by himself. I was talking to Durov. I was talking to all other guys who was involved in the industry. And everyone was saying, if you have no government support, you have no chances.
Well, and when we look into like maybe like a different aspects of the social network, and I'll probably won't be asking about like a direct stuff or like some systematic stuff, but like some unusual usage. Like for example, what I've been seeing in the social networks and probably in a ВКонтакте, people would try to duplicate other people's profile in order to like make some benefits. Like for example, whether it's a girl or like a popular celebrity, so that they would abuse the network. So what might be, I would say, like precocious measures when it comes to like interacting with the people or like attending a different publics or the pages or like leaving comments, like what we need to be aware of in order to make sure like we could safely use it so that it won't be used against us as well.
You know, you could do nothing. I will give you several examples. First example, several times I have already on the job interview instead of other people. I am already using deepfakes, and some of my students will get a job because I was talking instead of them. Right now I do it in Russian, but maybe with your help in 5 years I will do it in English. And in this case, I just would be given their login to social network, and I would talk with someone in Meta, or I would talk with someone through other stuff, especially in ВКонтакте. Second, if you are some very famous and very well-known person, you have no other chance but to ask network for protection. By the way, it was a client of mine, maybe you know him. His name is Cristiano Ronaldo. He is the most, I don't know how to say, the very first person in Instagram. And it was the request of guy, I know him well. He was working for McKinsey, and he asked me if there is any chance to protect Cristiano, because so many people, especially Colombians, they just make copy of his photos, and a lot of photos going around the network. And this is not just about stealing, it's about problems, because a lot of women were saying that they were in relations with Ronaldo because those people just looking like him. And I told him there is no other chance, but you should talk to Instagram administration. And I was granted the rights to talk instead of Cristiano Ronaldo. And for example, if you will go to Social Blade and if you will check Cristiano Ronaldo account, I believe you will find something like this is private account and it could not be retrieved and you could not get the statistics. Because if you will find, you will see that Cristiano get from Instagram approximately $2.5 million per month.
Well, it looks like sometimes your brand might not be only used by you. And when it comes to the brands, what might be the practical usage of the social network? Let's say like if you want to try to sell something or maybe even build a business on top of it.
I was asked by ВКонтакте administration if I want to have a blue mark. Is it okay to say blue mark?
Official mark.
Official mark. And I asked them, why should I use it? And they say, it would be like present from us. Usually you should pay for it or do some special stuff. Maybe you want. And I say, no, I don't want, because a lot of people who are fraudsters, they pay for this official mark. All time, all networks, LinkedIn especially, and ВКонтакте, and Facebook, and Instagram, they are trying to protect people, and they ask owners of pages to give photo with RBK newspaper or New York Times with your passport and so on, to know that it would be your account. But for sure you could make in Photoshop well-looking picture and you could steal everything you want. So I think it wouldn't help. The same was when I was chief of economical security of Alpha Bank in Ukraine. I was thinking maybe I would get a autoplate. I don't know how to say номерной знак. Autoplate, number plate, car number, plate. Car plate with a very fancy number. And I was told by policeman officials, if you have this, everyone will know that you have already paid a lot and you will be fined in advance and so on. But if you will be humble and you will take just a random number, you will be like usual person. The same better to do in ВКонтакте. Never use something to show that you have approval of your being in the social network.
And when it comes to, like maybe interacting with the different people to get good information, like for example, there were like a lot of pages where you get some news or like something that, like could maybe entertain you through the day, whether it's the place where you still can get like a valuable resources, or again, probably anticipating your answer. I guess that most of the answers could be found not on the computer, but somewhere else, but still, whether it might be a good source of the knowledge, but not the information.
You got the point. Better to know people, but not the news. If you know people who create news, you could talk to them directly. It is sorry to say, but I know some people who work on a trolley farms, фабрика trolley farms, trolley factory, and sometimes they will show me their orders, and they have like 5 to 7 points for this day. And for example, like 6 to 10,000 people will surround us by fake news to lead us as ships to скотобойня.
Need to think about this one.
Meat processing plant. So it's not very pleasant to know, but we are in a completely dirty water. Previously, maybe like 10 or 100 podcasts ago, we were talking that in 2006, it was calculated that amount of fake news in internet achieved 50%, and now it is not possible to clean this water. It's completely dirty. So if you read news especially in social network, you will be feeded by fakes. So it's no doubt better to know people who create news than to read your feed. It's very dangerous, and it's not efficient, and слабовольное поведение.
Weak willpower.
And weak willpower.
Well, I guess sometimes it really helps to understand that like whatever that your feed might be actually a representation of someone else's agenda. So why not to, why not to follow and just like create your own? And my last question will be how knowing about ВКонтакте could help to make this world a better place.
As I told you before, for me, it's very funny. I was never known that this network is used by someone outside of Russian Federation, but it's happened to be so. And right now, the number of people who are involved in ВКонтакте is around 1.2 billion. So it's quite a big network. Maybe it's one of 10 social networks on the planet. So sometime if you would be blocked or banned in LinkedIn or in Facebook, it's better to have a spare account on ВКонтакте and know some algorithm, because it's a wrong way to think that Facebook is quite similar to ВКонтакте. They are quite different networks with quite different goals.
А мы рассмотрели навык ВКонтакте и чем он полезен именно вам. Всем мира!